When you're growing plants, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. So join me on this beautiful sunny afternoon with a tasty beverage of your choice close to hand while we take a look at some 3-month Hoya updates. And before we start looking at plants, I'm going to take this opportunity to send out a special thanks to Michelle and Marlene, who bought me coffees this week, and to Beata and Rachel, who sent me super thanks. Your contributions make many things possible for this channel, and they are deeply and sincerely appreciated. So thank you all very much. And a thank you also goes out to those people who answered last week's question for the comments about what plants, what Hoyas they would recommend for new people and what Hoyas they wouldn't recommend. It more or less boiled down to the ones you would expect. The do's were Publicalyx, Mathilde, Carnosa, Sunrise, and Bella, all good suggestions. And the don'ts were Serpens, Undulata, and Bella. And the Serpens and the Undulata I get. Bella, I had to think about for a little bit, but then, yeah, because the watering's a little different, yeah. So I agree with it being a good start and a good not start. Yeah, I guess I'm on the fence about that one, but I love my Hoya Bellas, so what can you do? And we've got a couple of bloomers this week, and the first one up is my Hoya gracilis. And okay, now you're all tangled up, aren't you? And we're at kind of the tail end of the blooms for gracilis, but they are very pretty. Oh yeah, a caramelly scent. Really kind of nice. I don't know how, I'll put some close-ups, of course. They're pretty enough. It's a gorgeous plant. I mean, it's just done really well. Now, I bought this as Hoya gracilis and then found out, or read somewhere, that Hoya gracilis had been renamed Hoya memoria. So I thought of it as Hoya memoria. And then I found out that no, Hoya gracilis and Hoya memoria are two distinct species. Hoya memoria is native to the Philippines and Hoya gracilis is native to Sulawesi. And the difference is in the, I believe the term is translators, which is not something you can necessarily see with your naked eye or see well with your naked eye, or in my case, even really know what to look for. It's something to do with the flower parts. So for right now, I'm sticking with gracilis on this one. I know, it's confusing. I'm not on that committee. What can I do? Now the other one, well, one of the others, hold on, I'll put this one down gently, that's in bloom this week is, of course, a lacunosa. And this is Hoya lacunosa Poonsak. And Poonsak's blooms are typical lacunosa blooms. There's a couple of them. There's the tail end of one down here, which just lost some of its spent blossoms. And yeah, this one will be going strong for a while. The story behind Poonsak is that botanists were out hunting for plants and they saw something up in the trees. But neither one of them felt comfortable climbing the tree to get it. And the driver who they had hired for the day said, well, I'll go get it. And he climbed up the tree and brought them down cuttings. And so they named the plant after him. And it's very, stay still now, behave. Nobody's going anywhere. Very neat, long, narrow leaves. Typical kind of lacunosa veining, slightly raised veining, but very pretty. This one's getting a lot of light, maybe too much. It might have gone a little bit darker if it were further away, but you live where you get to live in the plant room. So yeah, This one's very cool. This is Poonsak, Hoya lacunosa Poonsak. Now, don't tip over, please. The next one I have up is my Hoya Mathilde, and she lives over here. And she is just about to bloom. I am not about to bring her down and drag it all here, so I'm going to put in some video, insert video now, close-ups of her, and with luck, by the time I finish editing this and it gets posted, we'll have some blooms, because one of them's really, really close, and there's lots of peduncles over there. But Mathilde has done very well for me. It's a beautiful plant. I'll put in some close-up stills, and fingers crossed, you'll get to see those. And the last one that's in bloom, I can't even begin to bring to you, so I'm going to put in some quick little video that I shot. And this is Hoya fungi. And as you can see, it's happy on the bottom shelf of my plant shelf, but it, while my back was turned, grew and wove itself through the gridding on the back wall of that plant shelf, all the way across to the other side, and started going up one of the posts in the corner, which is all well and good, except then it started blooming. And if I remember, there are 1, 2, 3, there's 4, maybe 5 peduncles in bloom right now. And I should have now some close-ups for you of those. They're absolutely beautiful, but I was going to lose about 3 of the peduncles if I tried to back it out of there. So we're going to have to do some cutting after that one's done. But yeah, that's what's in bloom this week. Oh, and someone asked about the seeds. So I only had one that survived, and I transferred it up to pond. I've got it in kind of a self-watering setup. I keep it in my little cupcake holder for right now, but it is still growing. That's Hoya biruensis. And yeah, it's put out the 2 initial leaves and then 2 more, and it's got a little bit of a vine going on. So yeah, this one's doing okay. I think there were 10 seeds originally, and this is the only one that made it. The ones that I did in pond had a really good result, but my friend Mona just did a video a week or so ago about her experience with seeds, and she was very successful. So I would check out Mona's video. That's Plant Therapy 1860 on YouTube, because she did really well. So yeah, very cool. And another viewer asked about the plants that I used in my moving to pond video. And so, being upfront about it, I'll let you know what happened. The first one, the leucantha, did well until I forgot about it. And my process when I move plants to pond is that, after you've cleaned off the roots, and that was rooted in pretty much water, so it had a good root system, but there was nothing to clean off. So I moved it into pond and gave it a drink, and then what I usually do is to go in with a squeeze bottle and just put in a little bit of water every other day, so there's moisture where the roots currently are, and it doesn't dry out, because the roots haven't gotten down to where, the whole system hasn't taken effect and started running yet. So I put that plant someplace where it wasn't in line of sight, and that leucantha didn't make it. But I addressed that issue, and you'll see later in this. But the Hoya carnosa is doing really well. I wouldn't say really well, because I'll show you why I tempered that joy. But it's put out some new growth. Let's see if I can, there's some new stuff coming in there. And there's a little bit of new growth down in there too. So it's doing okay. The reason I tempered my assessment is, shortly before I bought this one for that demonstration, I bought a variegated one, because people rave about their Carnosa compactas, and I was not at all convinced. But this one This has been here since, what's the note say? So since last September. And this is all new. This is all new. This is all new. This has just far exceeded my expectations. And so far, no pests. So I found that interesting. And in last week's comments, someone mentioned that they had both and that their green carnosa was noticeably slower than the variegated one. So, fun fact to know and tell, if you want a carnosa, maybe go for the variegated one, the outer variegated, because this one has just done very well. And they're in same kind of pot, same kind of substrate, same growing conditions. So yeah, this one, I had no expectations for this, and this has just blown me away. So yeah, that's what happened to the kids and the victims from the Moving My Plants to Pond video. And the first update today is Hoya biruensis. Now, this is formerly known as species affinity Spartioides, but was named and published officially just a couple months ago. So when I saw that, that was really cool. Now, Hoya biruensis is found in Kalimantan in Indonesia, in Bukit Biru in West Kalimantan. And it was first published in 2025 in the Nordic Journal of Botany by Michaela Rhoda and Sri Rahayu. And Michaela Rhoda and I are friends on Facebook, and I saw his announcement of the publication. So I went, oh, I need one of those. It has done very well. It's a very interesting plant. This leaf and this leaf are new, as is this shoot. It's just done very, very well. It came in a very nice pumice-based mix. Actually, I think it was pure pumice. It had a really nice root system, so I was able to just very gently transfer it to a self-watering pot, and it has done quite well. I'm just very pleased with this. I think I have to do more research about it, but I think this one is not solely peduncles. Hoya spartioides is all peduncles. I think this is both, because as I look at this, I don't know if I'll be able to show this to you, but that leaf, close-ups will help on this. This actually looks like a leaf. It's got a boat shape along the length, but yet others are distinctly round, like a spartioides peduncle. So I think this plant is a little bit, at least at this stage, a little bit of a combination of both. But it's really interesting. It's kind of pretty. My spartioides I have growing outward. This one I'm going to try and send up. We'll see how that goes. I'm not entirely sure, but that's the plan for now. This one came from my friends at North Austin Plant Company, and you can find them on Palm Street. And this is Hoya biruensis. So the Hoya leucantha that I used in my moving to pond video, and there's going to be a link somewhere, probably earlier on, you've already seen it, was my second try at Hoya leucantha. And the cuttings that I purchased, cuttings I received, were very thin stemmed and only had a couple of leaves. And I really wanted to try that plant. So after the second one got promoted to compost, I went out and found another source, and a really healthy looking cutting. And there should be a picture of it over here. And 3 months later, there's this beauty. It has put out a very long vine. I'm sure that's not showing up, but that's, a good, well, handy dandy measuring tape. That vine is at least 21 inches or 51 centimeters long. It's put out 2 more side shoots over here. I couldn't be happier with how this is doing. Now, Hoya leucantha is native to New Guinea. It was first collected in 1912, 1913 by Cecil Bowden Kloss, and he collected it in Indonesia in the Papua province along the Utakwa River. And he was part of the Wollaston expedition. Hoya leucantha was published in 1916 in Transactions of the Linnean Society of London by Spencer La Marchante Moore. And leucantha means white flowered, which I haven't seen yet, but this just has me very, very excited about the possibility. There's new growth on the original cutting I got. There's a side shoot. There's this other completely independent vine here. It's just doing great. I couldn't be more pleased. I think that's just beautiful. I like the leaves. I like the whole look. The leaves are, I was going to say thin, but I think they're good leaves in proportion to the size plant. If it were a bigger plant, they would be thicker leaves. A bigger plant by nature, but yeah. Slightly raised veining, a recessed central rib, and that just incredible lancelet shape. Let's see if I can, that's just really cool. Those are very, very pretty. I am very happy with how this puppy's doing. I rooted it in a net pot with pon in a shallow dish, so it was a passive hydros kind of setup, and it sent out major monster roots very, very quickly. This one got happy from day one. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. Oh, there's another vine down in underneath there coming out. So from the original cutting, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 new vines coming out of that. Yeah, this is just really pretty. I'm very happy about this one. I can't wait to see what it's going to do next. This one came from the Hoya habit on Etsy, and this handsome guy is Hoya leucantha. The next one up is Hoya exilis. And this may not look like much, but I'm very happy about this. Now, Hoya exilis is native to New Guinea, and it was first published in 1913 in the Botanische Jahrbucher für Systematik, Pflanzengeschichte und Pflanzengeographie. It's the Botanical Yearbooks for Systematics, Plant History, and Plant Geography by Friedrich Richard Rudolf Schlechter. And the herbarium sheet notes just say NGUIN, so New Guinea. Now, I ordered this as a cutting, as an unrooted cutting, so I knew what I was getting into. And it didn't travel terribly well. It's a very, very fine vine, and it's a thin-leafed Hoya. And the leaves are very pretty, but it was not happy about the journey. And what I should have done, I got along, I think there were 3 nodes. There's probably a picture over here of it when it arrived. I should have cut it up into sections, but I was trying to root the whole thing so I would get a bit of a jump start, which turned out to be not a good plan. So when I saw that it was going downhill, I took a cutting from it and hoped for the best. Put it in one of my little glass jars with cling film plastic wrap over the top and gave it nutrient solution and just left it alone. And I don't know how well that's going to show up in there, but it rooted. It took it a couple weeks to recover. If you could describe a Hoya leaf as looking like skin and bones, that's what this looked like. I probably even have a picture of that too. So I put it in here to root, and it's done a very good job of that. Nice little crop of roots in there. It's put out, I mean, this was originally just those two leaves, and it has put out this new vine, and there's a tiny little set of leaves there, and there's another few leaves up at the tip of this, and I doubt you'll be able to see that, but we'll find out. The blossoms on this are supposed to be very, very pretty, and I'm very excited about this, that it's come back. As I said, it's a thinner leafed Hoya. The leaves are thin, and there's a certain firmness to them. They're not rigid or anything. It's got a recessed central rib and raised veins. And yeah, I'm very excited about this. I wish I had just gone ahead and rooted it, cut it up and rooted it in pond, or rooted it in water to start with, but live and learn, you know. Sometimes things don't always work the way you plan. So you roll with it. Anyway, this is doing really well. I'm very excited about this. You will see updates if it keeps doing this well. So this one came from North Austin Plant Co., and they're on Palm Street, and this is Hoya exilis. And another one that sadly didn't make it was my Papuahoya biruensis. Now, there are only 3 named species of Papuahoya at present, and I was able to get a cutting of one of them. And again, I had a nice cutting, and I was trying to root it as one piece, and I should have cut it up. It just did not take to the rooting method I was using. I was using the passive hydro pond and a net pot and a cover pot, and I should have just gone with water on that one, so it didn't survive. But I have another cutting lined up, so we're going to give that one a try again because I want to have a Papuahoya. But sometimes, you know, even though you try what you think is your best choice at the time, doesn't always work out, and that was one of those. So here's to you, Papuahoya biruensis. And next up, it's a duplicate of something I already have, but there's a reason for that. And this is Oreosparte species, formerly known as Papuahoya species 01. And I was talking with the seller, who is the one who explained to me that my other plant of this same was in fact the Oreosparte and not the Papuahoya, or not a Papuahoya. And he sent me the dissection pictures of the flowers and showed me the differences between the two. And he said, well, since you're ordering from stuff, I'm just going to put a cutting in so you can see what I've got identified as an Oreosparte, compare it to what you have side by side. So he did, and it's done very well. It's put out this new vine. It only lost a very few leaves. And this one's growing under slightly different conditions than the other Oreosparte species I have. So the leaves are a little bit darker, which is why I'm going to change the positioning on the other one you've seen. But yeah, this one's doing really well. I don't think I can pull it out of this. Oops, maybe I can. Oh, there we go. No signs of roots coming through the pot yet, but there've got to be some to support that new vine. So that's very cool. The leaves are, let's prop this, absolutely tiny on this. I'm looking at maybe 1/4 of an inch side to side and maybe 5/8 of an inch petiole to tip, which translates to approximately 0.8 centimeters wide and a centimeter petiole to tip. The ones on my other plant are a little bit larger, so that's probably a reflection of the growing conditions, but yeah, this one's doing really well. And very soon, once I see a little bit of roots, we're going to move him to his own new long-term care facility. This is that Oreosparte species, formerly known as Papuahoya species 01. Next one up is a success story. This is Oreosparte sabaiensis. Now, sabaiensis is native to Sabah in Malaysia, which is on the island of Borneo, near the city of Tawau. It was first collected in 2002, but not published until 2020 in Wilde Mitteilungen aus dem Botanischen Garten und Museum Berlin-Dahlem, which is Messages from the Botanical Garden and Museum of Berlin-Dahlem. And it was published by Michaela Rhoda and Nathaniel Simonson. And this one came as one long vine with 2 nodes, and I should have a picture of what it looked like, or video or something of what it looked like when it arrived. And it didn't thrive right away where I had it, because I had it set up in a net pot with pond in a cover pot, so passive hydro. And I thought, I'm gonna cut that in half and separate the 2 nodes. So I took this second node here, this is the second node, and put it into one of my little cups with the nutrient solution and the cling film, a plastic wrap over the top. And about the same time, they each decided they liked where they were and put out monster roots. The first one was a little more difficult to see because he was in the pond. The second one was in water and you could see those roots, and it's like, oh my goodness, he's very, very happy. So I just recently moved them to pond and self-watering, and there's a new vine on this one. And there's a new vine, maybe I can show this, down in here. Down just in front of my finger there. It's probably not, I can't get the lighting right. But there's new growth down there as well. So I'm very happy about that. I did not expect the leaves to be this big, but that's very cool. The leaves are definitely pubescent. It's not velvet fuzzy, it's scruffy fuzzy. Pubescent on the top and the bottom. Underside of the leaves are like that. And this one's doing very well. For as aggressively as this one is growing right now, I have the feeling that this is going to turn into a huge plant fairly quick. And I'm not complaining about that. This is very neat. Slightly recessed central veins and slightly recessed side veins. There's, if you can tell, there's like 3 main ribs down that leaf, one down the center and then one on each side. And then the in-between veins are just slightly raised. It's very pretty. It's a great color. I mean, that's just a great color. And the pubescence on the leaves is very, very cool. I'll put close-ups of the leaves so you can see, but yeah, that's very neat. This one's doing very well for 3 months. I'm very excited about it. This one came from North Austin Plant Company, and you can find them on Palm Street. And this is Oreosparte sabaiensis. The next one up involves a story that only a Hoya head could love, and that's now about Dischidia GPS88. Now, it was originally sold as Hoya GPS88, but even that is not the actual name. GPS usually refers to Gerard Paul Shirley, who's a Dutch seller, and he kept very specific records. And at one point, Betsy Begonia asked him if he could give background on the GPS 88, and he said that what is being sold under that name is not at all what he has in his records. And so someone just appropriated that fake accession number to probably try and sell and promote this plant. And it has been determined that it is a Dischidia. And I like Dischidia, so I decided I wanted to try this one because the leaves are very, very cool. So I ordered a 2-node cutting, and it was a nice long cutting, and it kept falling out of the pond, which doesn't happen very often, but it kept falling out. And so I would find it laying beside the pot, and clearly I had bumped it at some point. What is that? What is that? Nope. And I despaired of it doing well. The leaves are just very cool. They are about 2 inches or just about 5 centimeters long and about half an inch or a little over 1 centimeter wide. So because I despaired of this, I went ahead and ordered another one because I wanted one. So I found a rooted plant at a very reasonable price and ordered that one as well. So while I was waiting for this to arrive, this cutting, so I finally took that long cutting and I cut it into 2 because it was not doing well that way. So this part of the cutting put out that new leaf. And this part of the cutting started putting out those 2 tiny little leaflets there. I can't see any roots on these yet, but I'm guessing that it is rooting enough to support those 2 little leaves and this new one here. And there is a partner to it coming out the other side. It just hasn't really emerged yet. And I can't see any roots here. This one did come rooted in what looked like maybe tree fern fiber and pumice. And those leaves are just beautiful. They're just really nice. So this one is a much longer, much healthier cutting. I got it up on this trellis just to keep it there because I'm debating climb or crawl. I might have this one climb. I'm not sure, but it's very cute, very sweet, nifty little leaves. Very excited about this one. So all of them, I can't hold them all up at once because I'm not that coordinated anymore. All of them are doing well. Very happy with this Dischidia. No one knows exactly where it came from because it got that fake name and there's no paper trail, there's no nothing about it. It has been determined to be a Dischidia, so that's what we're all working with now. The original cutting, which is actually doing rather well now, came from Gigi's greenhouse on Etsy. And the new cutting, the new rooted cutting, came from North Austin Plant Company. You can find them on Palm Street. And this is Dischidia GPS88. And the question for the comments this week, appropriately enough, is which Hoya, or other plant, but which Hoya, Dischidia, something of that ilk, have you tried several times? As you can see, I've clearly tried Hoya leucantha a couple times, and the other one that it took me a while to figure out was Hoya sigulatus. I think I tried sigulatus 3 times as well. 3 times is now my official limit, but yeah, so what one have you not given up on, despite perhaps less than sterling results? Add it to the comments below. That'll be an interesting topic for discussion. And as always, I want to thank you for choosing to spend a little bit of your time with me this week's end. Please remember to click the thumbs up like button, to subscribe, and to click the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. A lot of the products that you've seen me use are available through my Amazon storefront, and there's a link in the description. I receive a small commission on the sales, but it doesn't increase your price at all. If you're in the market for new grow lights, there's a link in the description to the Sonsi Lights webpage, Sonsi LED. I receive a commission on the sales of those when you use my discount code. You'll get a 32% discount from the price, and that discount code is planted in our eye. So if you're in the market for lights, I've been using them. I'm really happy with them. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description to my Buy Me a Coffee page, and there's also a thanks button down here, and you can send a super thanks, and the super thanks is all managed by YouTube. As usual, there's going to be links to a couple more videos you might enjoy over here, and please enjoy the rest of your week's end.